Hi everyone, my name is Phyllis and I'm the owner of Mad Moody Quilting Fabrics, and today I'm going to do a small little tutorial on how you can take your small pieces of batting and sew them together to have no ridges or no bumps or anything and still be square and lying flat and nice to put into a project. Now when I quilt people's quilts, they buy their batting and the width is 120 or it's a 96 wide, and sometimes their quilt is a baby quilt, so they buy this the smallest width, and they have all this leftover. Excuse me. So what happens is that I hand those leftovers back to them, and then they have all these little pieces. And some of them are big enough to do another baby quilt or a little wall hanging or something. But sometimes they have something that's slightly bigger than the pieces that they have. And they can take two pieces and put them together and use them inside their quilts. And there should not be any ridges or anything. So I'm going to show you how to prep your batting if it's multiple pieces. So I have two pieces here, and I'm going to prep them, and I need a longer length to do, oh dear, for some reason, there's my needle. So I'm going to do, I'm going to prep this so I can do a longer table runner. They're the right width, and but they're two separate pieces. So basically what you want is to make sure that your width from end side to side is that are the same width or close to. Okay? You also want to make sure that your top, the batting is going in the same direction. And these are now going in the same direction. So that what I mean is this side is got the dimples down, and this side is in the same. And you have to really look, and you'll see that the one side is dimply and the other side is up. Like the dimples are pushed through this way. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I've overlapped them, because this side and that side is not quite straight. Okay, so I will overlap them and make sure that there's a certain amount of overlap. Now I just take the scissors, you can rotary cut, and in between the overlap, down the center of that overlap, you're going to cut through the two pieces. So this way they are cut exactly the same way. And you can use a rotary cutter. Now this extra piece and this one underneath, you get rid of. They're garbage. So after that, once you've done that, you get them so they butt up nicely against each other. And by overlapping and cutting together, those two edges are going to be cut the exactly same. So then you take a thread, and you match your thread to the batting. We don't want to see this through the fabric. We want it looking like and feeling like it's all one piece. I put a knot in the bottom, and then I start at one end and I go right across. Okay, and you're just kind of, and then I'll go up and go back into this side, and I'll go up and go straight across again. So you're kind of doing, and what you want to do is you don't pull it tight, because if you pull it too tight, it's going to make a little ridge there. So you want to pull it tight enough so it holds it. And don't forget, once it's in the quilt, it's going to stay in its place when it's quilted, because you've quilted through everything. So you're just going to continue till you get to the other side, and then you just tie it off again. And you might need to use more than one thread length. And make sure that you do not pull too tight, like I said, because if you pull too tight, you'll get a ridge. You just want it so it's held in place side by side, long enough to get into the quilt, and then you quilt it into place. So this is a great way to use up leftovers. Make sure that your batting is the same batting. You don't want to put a Hobbs 80/20 with 100% cotton, because they will, when you wash your item, they'll shrink differently. It is really quite, but you really have to make sure that this cut line is the same on each piece, or it's not going to butt up together nicely, and then it won't lie flat, because you might have a curve this way and a curve this way that you're trying to put together. That's why you overlap and you cut them together at the same time, so you will have those pieces, those two pieces, that edge matching each other, and then they'll lie flat without a problem. So I think you get the idea, and this is a great, like I said, this is a great way to use up pieces that you have. And if you have large pieces, this is a fantastic way to get rid of some of those large pieces. They're large, but not large enough for a project that you want to do. And you can add, I've had to do this because the client has not brought me enough. I have some clients that will buy so many, and then they'll ask, can I use up what I have and put it together, and I give them this instruction, or they bring it to me and pay me to do the work for them. Or sometimes we'll do it together so they can learn for the next time, because these are things that you can do without so that's you know, these are things that you guys can do and save some money. So that's it. It's that simple. And this only needs to be held together long enough to get into the quilt. Okay, you don't want to do too many tiny stitches, because if you do it too tight, you'll end up with a ridge, and then you're going to feel that ridge in the quilt, and you don't want it too loose that you end up having it pulled apart. And then you end up having a divot in the quilts where there's no batting. So it's very simple and very easy to do, and make sure that it will lie flat and stuff. So there you go, how you can put your battings together use them up, those small pieces that are just large but not large enough for the project that you want. So happy sewing. Bye.